Hi guys. This is just like a quick video to show my current prototype progress with my quiz app application that I'm making for a school assessment. Originally, a couple of months ago, April, right now it's June, I made a Tkinter version, but then I realized that the UI looked kind of ugly, so I moved it over to PyQt6, and like I finally finished after like 2 months of programming in PyQt. It was a lot of effort, but finally done. So I want to compare and talk about like the different screens. I was gonna go over the code, but there's just so much it's just so much code in here. It just doesn't seem like I'll have the time nor the energy to do that. So I'm just gonna compare the UI screens, but maybe I'll make a video in the future. You never know. So like first let's just open up the PyQt version. I'll also say PyQt even though it's called PyQt. It's just a force of habit at this point. So as you can see, first of all, you see this dev thing. This is not going to be in the final product, but this is because the logic for switching screens for every single screen hasn't been implemented yet. So for example, it's impossible to get to the lobby to the multi-question screen directly using a button on the lobby, so you have to use the sidebar for that. But if you just ignore this, this is what the screen would look like without this. So this is the main menu screen, and if I go over to the Tkinter version, and you can see my commands that I ran. Python. Oh, I have to run all screens because I made them all separate files instead of linked for some reason. So yeah, this is the title screen comparison, I guess, is the first comparison. So you got this one here, and then this one here. So you got the PyQt version and then the Tkinter version here. So as you can see already, PyQt is in dark mode. That's because my computer is also in dark mode. If I were to change it to light mode, it would also change this to light mode, but I'm probably going to make this app dark mode only, which would make styling easier because some components are like hard coded to be dark, like cards, which you'll see later, so that makes it easier. The Tkinter version it uses like the default like Windows 11 buttons that you'd see in like, you know, unstyled apps, I'd say, but like the layout here is exactly the same because it was like almost one-to-one ported the screen. The later screens are much different though. Like as you can see, the hovering is like way different compared to here because this looks more default application. But yeah, anyways, let's move on from the boring title screen to the client setup screen. So if I just close this, it should reopen. Yep, there you go. I forgot to check the main like full screen. I'll do that real quick. So you got like, if I full screen, it like goes kind of to the top and it's kind of blinding, honestly. If I go to the main menu, it's more centered. It's like there's a 1:2 ratio, so there's more at the bottom, more space at the bottom than there is at the top. It's pretty small, but it doesn't really scale to be bigger. This one just goes straight to the top. But yeah, anyways, let's go to the setup screen by closing this here. So over here you can see the setup screen. We have it's basically the exact same thing, except this one's a bit higher than this one, but everything else is the exact same, like the fields and little connecting to port text and the title and the buttons, they're all the same. If you go into full screen though, you can see that this one goes all the way to the top and it like the entire thing just stretches out. So the bottom is just a big empty region, whereas the PyQt version centers itself, and there's also a tiny bit of spacing so it isn't like all the way at the edge. So that was a nice little change because it felt weird being at the top. It felt more natural being in the middle, but not exactly in the middle, because exactly in the middle felt a bit lower for some reason. So yeah, also the buttons work in here, but they don't work in this one because each screen is a separate file, whereas in this one it's all being run from the single main.py file, as you can see here. So if we join here, we can see the lobby on here, which has a little loading spinner, and if we close this one, you can see this one, which has a more like indeterminate progress bar, it's called, I think. So you can already see the major difference is that, like, at least in my opinion, the spinner just looks way more natural and smooth than this janky progress bar, which honestly doesn't even fit a lobby screen. I think it's more of a limitation in Tkinter. You could probably use a GIF, but this is like this is what I did anyways. You can also see you can't see the number of players because I felt like that was kind of unnecessary. It's like everything else is the same. It's left aligned, which felt better than center aligned. The IP address is the same. This gives you a warning message if you want to leave. This one doesn't do anything, obviously, because none of the buttons do anything in the Tkinter prototype. And yeah, everything else is really the same. We'll do the full screen. So this is what it looks like full screened. And this one is what it looks like full screened. And yeah, you can see this thing is very fast and very jittery. Like, it looks really a bit off, at least in my opinion. So yeah. Now this is the most interesting screen. Like, pretty like different looking compared to the ones you've seen so far. It's more colorful and there's an animated timer. This one is more static. The timer doesn't move. It's just a PNG. That's really it. I'll make it so that should be good. So yeah, you have the actually do need a reset. It's all good. Like it's okay. Let's go in the PyQt version for the first one. So you have the question number here, the title here, and then you have the buttons, and they obviously do stuff when you hover over them. You can leave if you want, and you can see the timer just you got the timer seconds down here, and then over here you got like the actual progress bar that smoothly goes down and changes colors when it's like at different percentages of the way through. And if you click on a button, like for example, let's click on like Neptune, you can see that it like glows green. It's a bit of a cutoff here because the way it's coded, this button grid is not actually like it's a separate component, so you can see the cutoff zone and the glow is a bit bigger than that, so it's a bit harsh, but hopefully that should be fixed later. But yeah, all the buttons glow their own colors at the back when you select them, and once you select a color, it's disabled. You can't click on any others. And also, you'll notice that when a button is clicked, this will darken very slightly, and it does not change colors to yellow or red anymore. It just stays a static green. Whereas the Tkinter, oh yeah, also this is what it looks like full screened. It's just the answer buttons are huge, and yeah, that's really it. With the Tkinter version, you can see it looks very similar with the question and question number. The buttons are where it starts to look different. You can see that compared to the PyQt version, the Tkinter ones are like a bit brighter because it's light mode. The darker colors fit better with the dark mode. You can see little not submitted text, which honestly is kind of pointless because you can tell when you submitted, and the leave game, which does nothing. The timer is static, but like it would go down, and when there were less than 5 seconds left, it would turn red. And clicking on these makes a little like animation, darkens it, but other than that, there's really nothing else in the Tkinter version, and this is what it looks like maximized. Honestly, this is one of the better looking screens in Tkinter, but like the later ones, they're just a bit like icky. So moving on, we have the multi-result screen. So this is what it looks like in the PyQt version, and this is what it looks like once I close this in the Tkinter version. So yeah, it doesn't really, it looks a bit bland, at least in my opinion. Like it's just a bunch of labels, and that's really it, and the separators also. So in the PyQt version, you have like the correct and the points you went and your answer. It's like same in here, except the text is a bit smaller and has the question number instead. And then over here it gives you the question review. So you have the question, the actual correct answer compared to your answer, and all the buttons here. If your answer was wrong, it'll show an X and then hover the correct answer. And it even shows you your progress so far, so in the form of these stats cards as well as your nickname. And also this is what it looks like when it's full screen. So there's a bit of empty space at the bottom, but yeah. And same on this card as well. With this screen, you can see that it has like a question review thing, and then it's just a bunch of labels. The labels look a bit bland, at least in my opinion. If you have the answer wrong, it'll say like your answer B and then correct answer, but since the answer you got is correct, it just says this. And your nickname. And your progress is also pretty simple. All it shows is the score and the place in just simple labels, like nothing really special about it. And then it says waiting for next question. And obviously the leave button does the same thing. All the leave buttons do the same thing, but yeah. Okay, so the next screens now are like the entry field screens. They were in the Tkinter version, but while developing the PyQt version, I decided against them because One, they seemed unnecessary and annoying, like extra work to code, and two, they were just really hard to style, because with multi-choice questions you get these like cool colors that you just naturally have, but with entry fields it's just bland, and it's just a lot of effort that I didn't see was worth it to make it look pretty, so I didn't do it. So for this one I'll just minimize this for the next two because those are there. So you can see the question looks the same, the time looks the same. This is it turning red when you have 5 seconds left, and it tells you to input. So if we input something like, I don't know, yellow or something, and we click submit, and it would submit it, turn it disabled, but obviously none do that. But yeah, I just felt like that you couldn't really style this without being forceful about it, just because of how the nature of this sort of field. So yeah. That's really all for that one. Oh, I forgot to do the full screen one. I keep forgetting to do full screen. Full screen. Okay, the thing about Tkinter full screen is that it doesn't react as well as PyQt. When it full screens, most of it is just blank empty space, and especially since when there's labels and they don't obviously scale. So this is what it looks like on the incorrect screen. You have red text and it tells you you're answering the correct answers because it's input, and you can see progress. So it's the same as last time. Now we can go back to this one and go to the final result screen. This is one of my little less favorite screens. I don't know. It just, like, I still like it way more than the one than this one, like miles better. And I'm not really good at graphic, like UI UX sort of thing. I kind of suck at that. So anyways, you got third place here in the bronze color. You also have silver and gold, and then just like plain old white or something similar to white if you come below that. Podium finish here, I don't know what it would say if you didn't finish on the podium yet, but yeah. Your performance, and then it has like these are not actually emojis, these are icons. Like they're stored in like an assets folder, they're not actually emojis, because emojis are pretty inconsistent across like operating systems. So you got your personal stats here, and then a little message like you have in Kahoot. Like in Kahoot it says like you were like 10 points behind this person, it has that sort of thing. And then you have the leaderboard snapshot of the people, one person above you, one person below you, and if you're like first it'll show like 2 people below you, that sort of stuff. And you can return to menu. This time there's no confirmation because most people would want to do that. This one has a bit of an interesting story. From my memory, this screen originally had something at the very bottom over here that would like it would be a question review of every question. And you could click on it and it would like actually bring up the question and what you inputted and what was right and all that, but it took up too much screen space and I felt like it was unnecessary, so it ended up being removed. This is what it looks like when it's maximized. It has the issue of nothing at the bottom, but I couldn't really do much to fix that. And this one has the same issue, but at this point we expect that to catch up. But yeah, resizing genuinely is one of the harder parts. So yeah, let's see what the next screen is here. Okay, it's the disconnected screen, so we can go into here. They are like a one-to-one, it's basically a one-to-one copy. I think the only difference is the button size and the spacing are very tiny, maybe like here and here it's a bit different, and here. But other than that, it's the exact same. So you can return to menu. This one doesn't do anything, but this one does. So I think the next one is the server lobby. Yep, okay. So you go to server lobby here. It's pretty similar. So you got like in Kahoot you have the pin. This time you actually have to input the ID IP because it doesn't do a UDP lookup or whatever it's called. And you have more options here. So for example, I can click on Viridex and get their info, and gives their info. This is fake, obviously, it's hard coded, and I can kick the player as well, and that actually removes them from the list. So clicking on it doesn't, like, clicking on how it would reset doesn't actually reset it this time because I didn't code that. This is a temporary function. So yeah. And the select quiz thing, so you can see all the quizzes here. You can even search for quizzes. So if you do like E, it only shows the quizzes that have E in it. So if I do like GE, it only shows these two, which is a little nice function, and you can just start the game. And it shows the countdown, but that will be later. And then you can just close the lobby if you want. This screen is very similar over here. The buttons don't do anything. And you can select from the wide array of quizzes, as you can see. and then you can start the game, but obviously that does nothing. But other than that, it's mostly the same. This is what it looks like full screened, and this is what this one looks like full screened. As you can see, a lot of blank area again. Okay, now next is the multi-question screen. So this is basically identical. The only thing is this thing which tells you how many people submitted. I really don't like this, but I don't know. I didn't know really where else to put it, honestly. And I think because of that, the spacing between these two is also a bit bigger because of the size, the font size. And let me show this version. And this one is like the exact same, except it has the responses at the bottom here. You can skip the question. Oh, actually, there's no confirmation. Okay, I think there's supposed to be a confirmation, but I just didn't add it. So, yeah, you can see a skip question, and you can't click on the buttons. Neither can you on here. But yeah, other than that, it's just mostly the same as the client UI one. So this is what the responses look like on Tkinter, and this is what it looks like on here. So you have the graph. It looks way better in full screen than it does in this tiny mode because it has to fit everything on here, which it struggles to do. So you have the same question results in green. I think I intended so that more than 50% answer correctly, the accent is green, otherwise it's red. So in this case it's green because 60% answered correctly. You have some bullshit graphs because there's 4, 6, 7 people here, but there's only 5 people playing. So you have the question here, the correct answer. Obviously you don't have your answer because it's a server view, it's supposed to be for everyone. You have the actual correct answer here only, and then the leaderboard with the first 3 people being colored with their podium colors and the rest being like just regular normal colors. And you can choose to end the game here, or you can move on to the next question. So it's mostly the same here. If you full screen it, you can see the graph looks way better. This is honestly one of my favorite screens just because of how happy I am with how this graph turned out. It's like Kahoot, which was pretty happy. It made me pretty happy. On this screen, you can see you have the question and the question number. The leaderboard is on the left side this time, and you can even kick players from here, which you cannot do here for some reason. I might add that, but I'm not sure yet. And you can see there's no buttons, it's just a label, and there's no graph because a lot of effort, which I did not have the patience to do. So that just goes back here. And the final result, it just looks like this. This is one of my least favorite screens just because of the purple. I needed an accent color. We're gonna pretend that you didn't see that and move on to this one. You have the entry field, you can't actually type, it's disabled. And it's just, yeah, it's really ordinary. Oh yeah, this was a hell of a screen to code. So you have the leaderboard like normal, you have the question here. The hard part was this scrolling canvas thing, because you needed a canvas to make it scrollable. Tkinter just won't let you put a scroll bar anywhere. It has to be connected to something like this tree view here. So you had to make it an invisible canvas, put everything inside of here, and just hope for the best. It disappears when you don't need it, but it was just so cumbersome to code. It was at that moment where I realized I was more like fighting the framework sort of thing, and I just learnt PyQt and then just switched there. Okay, now we're finally on the final result screen. So this is what it looks like on Tkinter, and you've already seen this one here. So what I don't like about this screen is the purple. Like, it just the purple isn't used anywhere else in the app. It's the only place. It looks like I just forced it in there. It looks like Cadbury colors as well. It just doesn't really work that well. But like having no accent makes it like weird because your eyes don't really know where to start. Whereas with the accent, your eyes guide towards the glow. So as you can see, this time the podium ones are bolded. Over here, so you have gold, silver, and bronze, and then regular. And then just like game stats. There were originally more game stats, but I removed some because they won't fit on here. So you have the winner, person with high points. These two are basically paired together. Fastest answer, hardest question, total players, and total questions. These could change in the future, but maybe, like, we'll see. Whereas with this one, you have like only 3 things. You have the players, questions, and the winner, which is kind of 4 things actually. It just doesn't have these 2, but it could because the labels were kind of plain compared to these. So yeah, that's really it for the server and the client now. Next is the about screen. Okay, so have the about here. It's very weird legal sources. So actually, they used to have two different licenses. This one's a MIT license, and this one is the GNU GPL v3. And because I'm using PyQt, that I think it requires you to use that or something. So it's just a big text area, and the help is non-existent on either of them. But that's really it for the about screen. This is the loading screen. I don't know if I'm gonna actually use the loading screen in the app, but I coded it anyways. I used my custom spinner widget to make it instead of this Braille loading spinner, which honestly looks more suited for command prompts than something like this. Yes, the most basic screen out of the world to talk about, and I think that's it for this one actually. Yeah, that's it for that one. This one has a few more, I think. Oh wait, no, it just says countdown. So you have the loading thing. I forgot to do full screen, but like it's okay. It doesn't really matter. This is what full screen looks like on here. And then the countdown. This is displayed. So for example, if you start the lobby, when it goes to the next question, it does a countdown: 3, 2, 1, and then it goes here. And same with when it finishes the multi-result. Once it finishes, it'll go 3, 2, 1, just to give players time to prepare. But yeah, that's really it for the quiz app. And one more thing, actually, if I just close this, and I have to modify a bit of the code, but there are sounds in this thing because, you know, sounds are cool. This is the wrong file. It's in here. So if I go to make this true and go to the multi-question and also make that true. So there's 2 sounds in the game so far. If I make those true, you can hear the music start to play. It's just, it's Kahoot music, but it's played on a flute or recorder or something. And it just plays throughout the entire app. So, goes here. Just nice tour of the entire app. I'm going in full screen as well. So yeah, your ears are blessed by that. And also, if I click, it makes a sound when you click on the button, like that. Click. And yeah, there's like a 20% chance it's like a recording of me saying click in a really high-pitched voice. So that's like a little funny thing in there. There's also an Easter egg, I think, somewhere in the prototype. I can't really remember where it is exactly, but I mean, you guys can find it out, I guess, though I know no one really cares about this app, so yeah, I guess it's just like a little fun project for me and for my assessment. So I'm really happy that I got the UI done, because that audio was pissing me off. That took ages to make the UI for Tkinter first, and then I had to learn it for PyQt 6, and then I had to apply it to this one, and I made this one more, because the Tkinter one was like all separate files and you had to run them all separately, whereas this one is like all connected to the single main.py, so that was a lot more stuff to do. But yeah, we got there in the end, and now it's just time to do the UI, I mean not the UI, the logic, so that'll be fun. But yeah, anyways, that's it for this prototype showcase video. I'll maybe make another video once I finish the entire app, and then maybe like a demo or a tutorial, even though I know no one will watch it. But yeah, alright, that's it. Thanks for watching. See ya.